Do, 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 do. Boo. Okay. All right. Here we got the hands again. Dee, 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 dee. Oh, good. Looks like I was on the right track. Oh, good. Okay. So, we're going to come back to these in a second. Oh, there we go. That's what I wanted to see. So, your, what I want to say, your hypothenar eminence is made up of 3 muscles, right? And there is an opponens digi minimi, a flexor digi minimi brevis, and an abductor digi minimi. This should be almost identical to the thumb. The thumb has an opponens pollicis, it has a flexor pollicis brevis, and it has an abductor pollicis brevis. But these are almost identical to the thumb muscles. And can you look at the origin of these? I don't care what the book says. The origin of all of them is the flexor retinaculum. I'm not suggesting it doesn't hook onto the hook of the hamate and all that kind of stuff and the pisiform. These are carpal bones. But even the abductor digi minimi attaches to the flexor retinaculum. Just like the thumb muscles, right? Yeah? Yeah. Cool. So, why did I stop sharing? Because we're now back to this beautiful thing that's very easy to remember. I've got a flexor, an opponens, and an abductor. I've got a flexor, an opponens, and an abductor. All digi minimis, all pollicis. They both share, these pads right here, both share the flexor retinaculum, which is why you roll out the hypothenar eminence and the thenar eminence to open up the flexor retinaculum. So it just ties into yesterday. Super easy peasy to remember, yeah? And even if you forget this stuff, when you hear digiti minimi, you should be thinking little toe or pinky. And when you hear pollicis, you better be thinking thumb. But these share, they share the ceiling of the carpal tunnel, okay? Boom, 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 super important. Yeah. And when you actually pinch, when you find the side of the bone here of your 5th metacarpal and you fall off it and you pinch right in here, you're grabbing all 3 of those muscles. It actually feels really good. A lot of people don't do this. You can actually pull them off right here and then you can grab the whole set right there. That's good on thumbs too. Kind of pinch in there and play with them. They're kind of cool. Don't make that face. They're cool. It's amazing. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So, that gives us 8 thumb muscles and 3 pinky muscles, right? Right. Cool. Okay. So, Mr. Brown, what are the 3 pinky muscles? Sir. Mr. Brown, talk to me. Hey, buddy, what are the 3 pinky muscles?
The 3 pinky muscles?
Yeah. What word do they have in all of them?
They don't have pollicis. Would it be minimi?
Yes, digiti minimi, the little digit. Digiti minimi.
Digiti minimi. Oh, the Austin Powers.
Yeah. That's right.
I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't paying attention, so I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna say that there's a flexor digiti minimi, an extensor digiti minimi.
No, abductor.
Oh, abductor digiti minimi.
And then?
A adductor digiti minimi.
Am I adducting right now? What am I doing right now?
What is that? No, that's not adduction. I don't know what that one is.
Opposition. It's called opposition. So there's an opinator.
Opping?
What?
So opping's like the thumb?
Yes, exactly.
But it would be opping Digity mini-me?
Opponens, digiti minimi.
Oh.
It's kind of convenient how those three muscles are kind of like the three thumb muscles, but with digiti minimi.
So, flexor, digiti mini-me, abductor, digiti mini-me,
Yes.
and opens, digiti.
Yeah, and since I've got you on the line here, just to drive the point home, what are the three thumb muscles that make up the thenar eminence?
The flexor pollicis,
Brevis, but good.
pollicis brevis, the abductor pollicis.
Brevis.
Oh, but all of them are brevis because the forearm ones have longest, correct?
Yeah, that's true. And then?
And then open pollicis. Brevis.
Perfect. No,
that
not
one didn't
brevis.
have brevis. No, that one didn't have brevis. That
Yeah.
one was just open pollicis.
So really, it's kind of the same three names, but these all have pollicis in them, and these all have digiti minimi. Cool?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Good.
So, we got flexor digiti minimi,
Yes.
abductor digiti minimi,
Yes.
open digiti minimi,
Yes.
flexor pollicis brevis,
Yep.
abductor pollicis brevis, and then opens pollicis.
Yes! Thank you, sir. You've redeemed yourself. Awesome. Cool, cool, cool. Thank you. Mr. Riedel, can you tell me the three pinky muscles that make up your hypothenar eminence?
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you, sir.
So you got the adductor digiti minimi?
Abductor, you mean?
Yes.
Okay. Abductor, yes.
And then you're gonna have the abductor too?
I thought we just said abductor.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. There's an abductor, there's not an adductor.
Mm.
It's just like the thumb muscles. That's kind of the point I'm making.
Okay.
So you got abductor, and then what action am I doing here with my pinky?
Flexion.
Good. So that gives you a...
Flexor digiti minimi?
Yep. Yep. Brevis, but that's fine. And then
Brevis.
what action is this?
Opposition.
Yes. So that gives you an opponens.
Opponens digiti minimi.
Cool. And this matches the thumb because the thumb, what three muscles make up the thumb pad?
I don't know.
You guys are killing me. So, same thing as the pinky. Flexor pollicis brevis, abductor pollicis brevis, and opponens pollicis. Both sides have abductors, both sides have flexors, both sides have opponators. They just have pollicis in these and digiti minimi in these. Cool? I feel like I'm lecturing to three people. All right, let's move on. That is the pinky. Yes, Miss Lobitz, please. Do you have a question?
Yeah, maybe I missed it. So I get thumbs and pinkies, but as far as 2, 3, and 4, like what muscle would abduct? Like how do I make a peace sign? Like how?
That is such a good question. But Miss Lobitz, you are very attentive. So it's highly unlikely you missed that. Maybe it's about what I'm about to teach next. So you didn't miss it, and I appreciate you paying attention. And we are actually going to talk about muscles that do exactly what you're talking about, abduct and adduct the fingers. And kind of hold your whole hand together. So I don't know if you guys remember, but the lumbricals of the feet and the interossei, you had a plantar interossei and a dorsal interossei. Well, you've got lumbricals of the hand, because hands and feet are actually very similarly structured. and you've got a palmar interossei and a dorsal interossei of your hand, and I'll show you those pictures right now. So it was an excellent question. Okay, everybody. So on your palmar surface, on the palmar surface of your hand, if you start digging in here, you will come across some muscles called, by the way, this doesn't answer your question yet, Ms. Lovitz, but we're heading there. You will come across muscles called the lumbricals of the hand. They are like the lumbricals of the feet, where their origin is on the flexor digitorum profundus tendon. Remember how the lumbricals of your feet were on the flexor digitorum tendon there too? And they insert into the extensor aponeuroses, the dorsal surface of your phalanges. What does that mean? It means they actually come from the palmar side and actually go to the dorsal side and grab in here. This is what's really interesting about them. Do you see how they say they can extend your second through fifth fingers at the interphalangeal joints? And they can flex the second through fifth fingers at the metacarpal phalangeal joints. If you look at my hand, this might help. I'm going to undo this just for a second. It's a very interesting thing, but as a massage therapist, this might be your favorite muscle. Because what it can do is actually, I got to make sure I'm telling you this the right way, it can actually pull my fingers down while rolling these back. Now, why would I want to pull these fingers back at the same time and fight myself? Why would I want to do that? Because I want to poke somebody. As a massage therapist, we use lumbricals all the time to kind of send a message to kind of pull our finger back down in front, but lift them up at the ends here, which makes them hard. So your lumbricals are part of what give you power to do your massage stuff, this stuff. Very cool. But even if you forget all that, they're awesome because you can rub in here between the metacarpals and you're hitting the lumbricals. So we're going to go even deeper and find out that you can hit two other muscles by going deeper, but your lumbricals kind of run across these tendons and such in here. And their point is they can flex and extend the fingers in two different directions, but when you do that in two different directions, you end up just making them rigid. So they help give rigidity to your fingers so that you can point with them. And what I care about is they give rigidity to your fingers so you can massage with them. But I also care because the hands are really complex and I want you guys to, be working in there in between the bones. Mr. Tate, please, you have a question?
Are you recording this?
I am recording this.
Okay, because
I forgot. What?
I kind of missed that last part. Which part of the figures are we talking about?
So what happens is these lumbricals are on my palmar side. They're right here in my palm. And they actually have an origin of the flexor digitorum. They call it the flexor digitorum profundus muscle, but just like in my feet, they have an origin very similar to my feet. They go from my palmar side and actually reach up and actually grab on to the dorsal side of my fingers, which is very strange. And because of that, they can flex me at what's called the metacarpal phalangeal joint, my knuckles here. They can flex that. But because they grab up to the top the way they grab up to the top, they can extend my interphalangeal joints, which is to pull my fingers this way. So when you bend this way and extend this way, it's like you're fighting yourself, and it allows you to do that rigidly. It allows me to point my fingers. It's what gives strength to your fingers. They're really actually quite cool. I can't believe we're all not more excited about this right now. Just telling you, man. Just a thank you, Ms. Lovitz. That's the appropriate reaction. Yeah. Cheers, screaming. They're incredible. And they match the feet. I love how much this stuff matches the feet. And what a cool teacher that we put all this stuff together so you could remember that it matches the feet. And then we got the three little pinky pad things over here and the three little thumb pads over here. And it's all like boxed together. It's kind of nice and neat and all that kind of stuff. Yes, Ms. Trotter, please.
So, do we have, like, this pretty much the same thing, but on the dorsal side?
everyone too?
No, I mean, you do have muscles between your metacarpals on the dorsal side, and we're going to get to that next. But they don't do the exact same thing. No, they actually tend to help you adduct and abduct your metacarpals and your fingers too. We'll see here in a second. I'll show you a picture. We're headed there. You guys are outthinking me right now. So those are the lumbricals. So we're on the palmar side. If we go deeper, the lumbricals are like a slice of bread. If we go deeper, we get to the palmar interossei. And they too can help with flexing and extending to help you kind of have some strength too, but they also help pull the fingers together to adduct them, which is what Ms. Lobitz was talking about, one of the things. So if you go deeper and you get between your metacarpal bones and start digging in there from the palmar side, you get to the meat of our sandwich, which is the palmar interossei, which you have in your feet too, and they basically do the same thing. If you go even deeper, which you wouldn't do because you probably couldn't, you'd have to go to the back side, we get to the last slice of bread. And on the last slice of bread, you get to the dorsal interossei, which obviously you want to reach from the dorsal side. That's what you're rubbing right now, Ms. Trotter. You're rubbing your dorsal interossei, and they abduct. They abduct your fingers, which is what Ms. Lobitz was talking about. So this is how we do stuff like this, is these interossei muscles, the dorsal and palmar interossei muscles allow me to pull these in and out. They also, again, give strength and allow me to do what the lumbricals do. So all these muscles inside your hand are allowing you to have these really strong fingers and stuff. So quite honestly, you guys probably, your dorsal interossei and your palmar interossei and your lumbricals of your hand are probably twice as strong as they were 8 months ago. Really, honestly. Because you didn't go around doing a lot of stuff like this. It's very interesting as massage therapists are very good at poking really hard and pressing and stuff like that, and you actually built that up while you're here. And these are the muscles that do that. So, if you want to go from the back to the front, it's dorsal interossei, palmar interossei, lumbricals. If you want to go from the palmar side to the back, it's lumbricals, palmar interossei, dorsal interossei. And what does Tapscott really want you to know? I want you to realize that there are muscles like deep inside those hands that get sore and tired and are used. They're not just extra muscles to be cute. They're actually very powerful and they help weave your hands together, and people that use their hands a lot are really sore in them. They help you to flex and extend and adduct and abduct, depending on what they're doing, all of them. You don't need to remember which ones do which. It's to remember that they're all sewn in there and they're between your metacarpals, right here. And that is your hand sandwich. Lumbricals, palmar interossei, dorsal interossei. Yeah? Yeah. Kind of cool. Yeah? All right. Did you get all that, Mr. Brown? Be very careful how you answer this question. Mr. Brown, did you get all that? Is what I was asking.
Oh, the presentation? Yes,
Yeah.
that was it.
Good. So you got that there's 3 muscles that make up the hand sandwich in here?
Talking about dorsal and palmar? Yeah.
Dorsal and palmar interossei?
Interossei?
Yep. And the lumbricals? Yeah?
Yeah.
So if I asked you what...
I'm trying to visualize, like, when you were doing it, you were like pointing it out. I'm visual. So when you stop pointing it out, I'm looking for it.
Good. So if I made a sandwich here, on this side it's the lumbricals. Then if I go deeper, it's palmar interossei. And if I go really deep, which I might as well just go to the back side, it's dorsal interossei.
So yeah, dorsal, palmar, and then say the last or lumbricals. But I don't know
Good.
how to pronounce that I word too good.
That I what? You're cutting out. I don't know. But you
The word that you keep saying, I can't pronounce it too good. Palmar
say enter ossei.
Palmar interossei.
Yeah. Palmar interossei, dorsal interossei, and lumbricals. Cool. So we actually just covered 6 muscles today. We covered 3 that make up the pinky. We reviewed 3 that make up the thumb. I know there's a 4th one over here, but it doesn't make up your thumb pad. The 4th one is the adductor pollicis that pulls your hand over. And so there's a lot to work on right in this hand. You've got 3 muscles here, another thumb muscle here, that's 4. You've got 3 layers of muscle here, that's 7. And you've got 3 more muscles over here, that's 10. And these are important muscles. These aren't like, These are actually very important muscles on people that use their hands. Yeah, and they're the main reason your hand is the size it is. If you just look at the bones, hands aren't very big. You can hardly even see this thing. Most of the meat's coming from these muscles in your hand. Yeah? Okay. All right. Questions about that? Comments? Thoughts?